Find the fourth root of negative 4 plus 4i radical 3. What's the first thing we need to do besides jump off a cliff with a wolf who's dating Lady Gaga? And that he's on fire. Yeah, please write negative 4 plus 4i radical 3 into trigonometric form. So even though it doesn't look like a coefficient, it's the coefficient of I. B is 4 radical 3. Mm-hmm. What do you get for R? 8. That means the cosine is A over R. Yep. The sine is B over R. Radical 3 over 2. So what angle theta has a cosine value of negative 1/2 and a sine value of radical 3 over 2? 120 degrees. So the trig form would be R, 8, times the cosine of 120, plus I times the sine of 120. All right, so that's what we're going to use from here on out. We're finding fourth roots, so what's our n? 4. So we're going to have 8 to the 1 over 4 times the cosine of 120 degrees over 4 plus k times 360 degrees over 4. And the same argument for sine. What is 120 over 4? And 360 over 4? So what this says in English, you're going to start with your argument being 30 degrees, and then to get the next angle, you're going to keep adding, what? 90. So you're going to start with 30, and then do 120, and then do 210, and then do 300. And you don't have to go any further than that because you'll start back, it'll just go back to where you started because of coterminal angle. So those are your 4 angle measurements, 30, 120, 210, 300. Do it, do it.
How do you get more angles?
You wouldn't be able to. 5, but then you're only adding 360 divided by 5, which is what, 72? So then you're only adding 72 each time. That'll make your 5 answers. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Nothing. It cast a 30-second chameleon spell for 20 feet, so I'm surprised we all didn't turn invisible. 100% chameleon. Yeah. You have to what?
like how Peter will spot something that he will actually eat.
Oh, nice.
I don't like.
Oh, 300, not 330. Sorry.
It's cheating.
So one more time. I'm not cheating. Too legit. Too legit to quit. So we're starting at 30 degrees because if k were 0, that makes this argument 30. And then what this says is every time we just add 90 degrees. So 30, 120, 210, 300. And then we don't have to go any further because fourth roots, we only need 4 answers because after, if we did another 90, then that's co-terminal to 30 degrees, so we'd be back up to the first line here. The bad news is 8 to the 1/4 is not a pretty number. We're just going to leave it as 8 to the 1/4. No, we went from 30 to 120 by adding 90.
Oh.
Is that okay? So this first line is k equals 0, k equals 1, k equals 2, and then k equals 3. And then since n is 4, because it's the fourth root, we stop the one before at 3. Is that okay? So for each one, we're just going to figure out the sine and cosine values. All right. So we'll have 8 to the 1/4 times what quantity? Yep. Yep. Someone else? 8 to the 1/4 times what quantity? Negative 1/2.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Plus radical 3 over 2i. Looks like someone needs another unit circle test.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to buy everyone those Google glasses, and then I'm going to know exactly where you are, and then come attack you with a unit circle test over the weekend. Yep. Yep. I'm going to parachute in. It's going to be fantastic. 210 degrees. Yep. And lastly, 300 degrees. Good. So again, if you plotted all of them, they would be 8 to the 1/4 units away from the origin. But here's radical 3 over 2, 1/2. Here's negative 1/2, radical 3 over 2. Here's negative radical 3 over 2, negative 1/2. Here's negative 1/2, negative radical 3 over 2. So if you were to connect them, it should make a square because the angles around from one point to the other is 90 degrees. So all 4 of those answers in this last column here, if you raised any of them to the 4th power, you would get negative 4 plus 4i radical 3. So that's how you find roots of imaginary numbers. Awesome. Yes, leave that alone. Yeah, we're going to have to. I mean, it's not a pretty one. Whereas the other one, like, well, for instance, if that was a cube root, then you would just say 2.